Hi, so today I thought we'd draw some Cthulhu type inspired creatures, just with an ink pen, no pencils, and just see what we can create and come up with. So I usually start off with some kind of shape, and then it goes into tentacles, obviously. Try and mix up the tentacles if you want. Maybe just draw an arrangement of tentacles in different ways. Maybe decide if there's going to be eyeballs. Put a few eyeballs here, and there's got to be a mouth with lots of teeth, so we'll start doing lots of teeth there. Different sized teeth. Maybe a few more eyeballs here and there, different sizes of eyeballs as well. More tentacles. Usually when I'm drawing these creatures, I usually try and work out a really good composition of all the tentacles, but these are just quick sketches, so I can sort of get away with it. Draw some tentacles in the background, maybe smaller ones that trail off in the distance, I don't know. I like drawing these creatures. You can just start in detail and maybe shadow, just to help just fill out the drawing, you know, the creature drawing. It's figure out where the shadow is coming from, or like the light's coming from to make the shadows. I usually do like the shadows underneath the tentacles, and you know, maybe underneath the creature there's like shadowed areas. And around the eyes, because we want some of them eyes to be sunken into the creature's body. So shade around the eyes as well. With these creatures you can mix it up. You can like make maybe the head or the body more like a skull like or something, which I'll do another example over here soon. I'll just finish this little quick sketch. One of the things I like about the Cthulhu creatures that H.P. Lovecraft created is he created really good descriptions that you can, you know, they're sort of like open-ended descriptions where they're open for interpretation by artists. So that's why I like just to create my own works of art and not look at other artists. Really just create what I want sometimes. That's not to say I don't look at other artists' work on these types of creatures, because I have in the past, and there's some fantastic creatures and things that people are drawing, and I'm just like, oh wow. So yeah, just try and work out where everything will go on your drawing. Like I said, light, shadow, then loads of details, which is what I'm doing. Now usually when you start a drawing and gets about this point, you might think, I don't really like it, or I could have drawn it a bit better. But sometimes if you stick with it, you might turn the drawing around, you never know. But if you come into the end of the drawing and you sort of feel like it's not going anywhere, it's not how you wanted it, then you just draw it again. There's no shame in starting again on certain drawings. Sometimes certain drawings are not to be, really. But I sort of like this one. Just quickly add some shadow here and there. I think with extra detail, this little drawing will be quite fun, actually. Give him little nose hole things. And then just do more detail. Usually going overboard with detail just helps my drawing sometimes. And I like using the ink pen just to draw all the detail. I mean, like the ink lines that I've drawn there initially, the top of the tentacles, you don't have to leave it like that. You can just add more texture over the top just to break it up, really. But always think it's going to be darker underneath most times. Then on the top there'll be like sort of like lighter or not as much ink work on the top of the tentacles. But yeah, if you don't like the smooth looking ink line that you've just done on the top there, you can always just change it, like maybe make it more textured. Usually looks a little bit better like that, and then more shadow underneath. Quite like it. If I carried on with that, I'd probably like that little drawing. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to draw another one, but different. Maybe we'll start with a skull as a basis for some kind of Cthulhu type inspired creature. We'll think about it. So often with these creatures you can mix and match and do like tentacles and claws and other sort of things. So what we'll do is I want sort of like half of the skull shape to be visible, so it's like almost skull like, but then the rest of it is something else entirely. Draw like a little claw thing there, and maybe a tentacle. Maybe another tentacle. Just keep adding to it. Skull nose there, maybe teeth. Change the shape there, so like this, maybe like just like a mutant type head there, so it's like all uneven type shape. Another claw here. Just in the mouth there, and then there's other tentacles and other stuff. You can make it as complicated as you like, or you know, as many tentacles and as many bits of detail that you want. There's no right or wrong way of doing this. It's obviously like practicing, you know, what you want to create. You know, you can mix it up and maybe do some tentacles coming out this way, because right now the focus was on that side, but you can draw it how you want. You can maybe we'll do another claw in there, but a smaller one. On that side, and more detail. I always like adding loads of detail, as you know from if you've watched previous videos, but you can draw as much as you like or as little as you like. It's entirely up to you. If I'm just going to draw like a black and white drawing, then I'll draw loads of detail and things like that, but if I know I'm going to colour it, I might leave off a lot of the detail and maybe come back to the inking at the end when I've added quite a bit of colour or something. But I'm not going to colour these today. These are just finding different ways to draw stuff and draw these creatures, because especially just using an ink pen can just free up the way you draw these things as well. Obviously, because you're not using just a pencil to sketch something beforehand and things like that, so it's always a good exercise just to use an ink pen to, you know, draw the ideas first. And you know, you can just sketch with an ink pen, you know, instead of a pencil, because if you make any mistakes you can just black things out, or just round things off with a Sharpie marker or something like that. I'll leave that more like skull-like there, fill in some areas. There's some dark areas in there, don't know. Yeah, just maybe not go too overboard with that pen at the moment. Oops, knocking the camera. I always do that. Just think of where the shadows would be, and the highlights, and you know, where the light had hit certain areas. There's obviously loads of like shadow in the mouth area, even though I hadn't done like a lower jaw or something like that. It's just the way you draw it, really. Maybe we'll just do a third eye up there, just to make it Cthulhu-ish. Yeah, so often when I'm drawing these creatures, it just comes down to just seeing what works, and you know, the way you draw things can just happen on the page. You just run with it usually. So I did them Sharpie bits, and it's created a nice bit of darkness. You can just like add to that with the ink pen, and maybe do some, you know, hatch lines around it, but leave some areas like white here and there, because you don't want to, you know, like go overboard with it, even though sometimes I do, but it's just my inking style. It's more of a sketchy sort of way of doing things. These tentacles here, they're coming out like you know, the darkness in the skull, so we try and darken them a bit more. So it's just about creating effective drawing, is just about working out the dark and light and the composition of, you know, your creature designs and things like that. One of the things that I used to think about is the way things are drawn can affect how the drawing looks in the end, if that makes sense. So if you need to plan these drawings, then you know, just do little sketches like this, you know, because these sketches could form the basis of a larger drawing. That you could add more complex tentacles and things, but you're just working things out in your head and on the paper, so it's useful to just draw and sketch. That's really what I'm doing here. I'm just sketching, just seeing how this will turn out. Because some drawings do turn out and some don't. It's part of the drawing process. And sometimes you'll find a drawing that on the face of it, like, it doesn't look like it's going anywhere, but then it does. It always happens. Always happens to me anyway, on a daily basis. I didn't think this would go anywhere, but I quite like it actually. If I did spend a bit more time on this one, I could really add more to it. So yeah, I'll leave that one as there because I quite like it. But you get the idea of we're drawing these. Just try it. Try and see how you lay out the drawing. Because things just unfold when you're sketching. You get more ideas. Usually halfway through a sketch. That's the way, you know, I do it anyway. Like, I'm drawing something and then I have an idea for something else just because of, you know, one drawing. So yeah, just have a go yourself and have fun. Cheers now.